Now, I'm not one to get political on this, but this beer is called Impeach It, or Don't Bleach It. It's a 5.1% peach IPA. Let's see what it's like, shall we? We need something a little bit fruity on this channel. Let's rock. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. We've drank some of those Beer 52 box from Poland this month. We've had a few dark beers, but I need something refreshing, something really fruity. A lot of the Polish stuff was a little bit on that West Coast bitterness, and I need something really, really fruity. So I think this one could do the job. This is called Impeach It, Don't Bleach It. It's a 5.1%. I sort of said it was a peach IPA, but it's like a peach smoothie. This is by the Staggeringly Good Brewery based down on the south coast. We've had a few beers from them. You know, this one doesn't seem to have much in the way of dinosaurs on it, like a lot of their stuff does. But it's obviously got peaches in it, or peaches or peach. Say peach juice, but some sort of peach adjunct into it. It's also got lactose in it as well. It's obviously going to be. It's got it's going to be quite thick. It's going to be quite fruity. It doesn't really say that much more on the can. All we know it's from Staggeringly, a Staggeringly Good Brewery based down in is it Southampton, Portsmouth, yeah. So let's get this beer out and see what it looks like first, and then see what it tastes like. I mean, you can see that. Look at that. We've got a sort of. It's going to be quite thick and gloopy. This. Let's get it into a glass. Yeah, I mean it's pouring like an orange juice. Very, very badly poured. I'm gonna look at that. I mean that is literally all head and no juice. But I'm gonna. It's lively. I mean, obviously, I've had a little taste there just to get rid of the head. Let's get some aromas. I'm sure the aromas are going to pretty much be, yeah. I mean, surprisingly enough, it smells like peaches. I was going to sort of say it smells like something else, but you as my audience, you're no fools. You know that if you've got a peach smoothie IPA, it's going to smell like peaches. But it's quite, there's it's real juicy, fruity, sort of sweet peaches. There's no peach aromas from the hops in this. It'd be interesting to know what sort of hops are in it. It smells great, and it's so sort of juicy. I mean, I had a quick taste there, so I can give you a quick idea on the mouthfeel. It's very, very highly carbonated. I was quite surprised how carbonated it is, actually. When you've got lactose in it and you've got peach, you expect it to be a bit less lively on the sort of. But look at it. I mean, it's still really. I mean, I'm still trying to cut through. I think that's probably the best we're going to get. So, colour-wise. Well, it is very custardy yellow, slightly yellowy orange, like a peach's. I mean, it looks like a peach. It's called peach. It's got peach in the title. Looks like a peach. Smells like a peach. Tastes like a peach. So it pretty much is a peach. Let's get a proper good mouthful of this, though, and let's get some tastes. Yeah, I mean, the first things first, it is very, very fizzy and carbonated. More so than you would probably like. And that sort of, you get that peach taste, but it sort of doesn't sit on the palate because the carbonation is pinging it around your mouth at a rate of knots. And it makes it really, really difficult to hold on to it. It is very peach flavoured. That I'm not picking up anything else. The peach is very overpowering, as you'd expect. It's probably not a drink that you would drink in December, unless you need a palate cleanser after drinking loads of 10-11% chocolatey stouts. Certainly that. Excuse me. It's very, very gassy. I mean, it's one thing with craft beers, pale ales, IPAs. you know, and obviously when you get into your double IPAs and your triple IPAs and your stouts, the higher the percentage you go up, usually you get the less carbonation because you get a much more softer mouthfeel. This, I thought because it had lactose and it was peach, that it would be more like drinking orange juice, but it's almost like a peach flavoured juice with a hell of a lot of lemonade in it, just to give it that real fizziness, which I think ruins it a little bit in terms of its flavour. If you like peach though, I think you'll like it. And if ever there was a beer that you'd want to drink as a sort of hair of the dog, the first drink, you know, you have a big session on a Friday night, you get up Saturday, you're feeling a bit rough, but you know, you've got to go out and do it again for some reason. Maybe you're on a stag do, or you know, you're away for the weekend and you want something fresh and fruity that's going to really sort of quench that sort of dry mouth that you've had from the night before. But at the same time, you need a kickstart with a little bit of alcohol. You know that little bit of alcohol, can help you on your way. And this is a great drink. You know, this is a good breakfast drink. And to be honest, if you served that out to somebody at breakfast, they probably would think it was peach juice. It's nice. I'd like less carbonation. But apart from that, it's very peachy. It's very different. Is it a beer? Not really. I mean, there is beer elements to it, but it's very one note in terms of the peach. There is a sort of slight harshness. I don't even know how I would call it bitterness. I think it's just the fact that it's got so much fruit and so much carbonation that it's quite sort of, it's all going off in your mouth really at the same time. So I think that if maybe the carbonation was dialed back a little bit, you'd get some of those flavours, because even the peach is too much. It needs something to counteract that strong peach flavour. But it's a bit different. It's a bit different. It's a bit of fun. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for this staggeringly good Impeach It, Don't Bleach It. I find it really difficult to say that. 5.1%. It's a peach smoothie IPA. It tastes like a peach juice. It looks like a peach juice. It smells like a peach juice. So, talking about smells, let's do the aroma first. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, it's peachy. It smells like real fresh peach. You know, you've got peaches. You put them all in a blender and you've swirled them all around and you've stuck them in a glass. It's very, very peachy, as you would expect. There's not really anything else. There's no sort of like, was there a subtle bit of peach in there? It's very, very peachy. It's got peach in it, so that's not coming from any sort of strange hops that give off peach aromas. You know, we do have certain hops that, or certainly, especially when we drink sort of double IPAs, they very much have a sort of very stone fruit aromas and stone fruit flavours, but nothing as characteristically peachy as this is. But it does what it says on the tin, really. It smells like peaches and it's quite pleasant. So I'm giving it a 13 for aroma. Appearance-wise, well, I mean, it looks as well like peach juice. It's yellow, it's custard. Big, had a massive big head on it, and it has gone down a little bit, but it's very, very bubbly there. You know, little yellow sort of foamy bubbles. So I'm giving it an 8 for appearance, because it does look lovely. You know, it looks nice and yellowy. Flavour-wise, it's a difficult one, because I think a lot of people will be put off. You've got to like peach, otherwise you're not going to like it. And it is very much like I wouldn't even say it's like a sour, because there isn't a sour element to it. It's peach, like a peach juice. You know, there's nothing else going on. There's no extra flavours. There's no rounding off of a little bit of grapefruit bitterness. There's no sort of big hits of mango and pineapple or anything else. It's very much one note peach. But if you like peach, then you'll love the flavour. But I'm giving it 31 for flavour. Value for money. Well, I mean, I paid nearly a £5 for this in a 440ml can. I'm knocking it down to 7 out of 10 for value, because I don't, you know, there's not much more to it. It's not sort of it's a comedy drink. It's a bit of fun, you know, and I think that I don't think I'd want to spend that sort of money on something like this. It reminds me, if anyone's watched the Halloween video when I'm sort of got my makeup on and I'm doing a review there of a mango IPA, and this is very similar, but obviously supposed to be mango, it's peach, but that was similar in that it had that sort of it tried to be like a sour, but it didn't have that sort of sour tartness in it. It was just peach, and that was it. So overall experience, so we give value 7, and then overall experience, would I drink more than one in one session? Probably not. It's a nice, starter for the day. It's a good lunchtime drink, but you won't want to drink many of them. You'd have one, and then you'd go on to something, a proper beer, I suppose. It is as you'd expect. It's peach. It's a peach juice. It's also a little bit too fizzy for me. Very highly carbonated. I think the carbonation was dialed back a bit, and the flavours would have been a bit more mellow. Maybe if that lactose, would have sort of come through in the flavour. But to me, the lactose makes it a bit thicker looking in the glass, gives it a little bit more body to the actual peach, but doesn't sort of dial back the carbonation. The carbonation sort of ruins it a little bit for me, because it's so fizzy. It's like a fizzy, it's like it's like a glass of pop basically. I mean, I don't think I can think of a peach pop, but it's like if it was like a lilt or something like that, but a peach version of it, it's very much like that. It's very difficult to actually categorize this as a beer. So my overall experience, I'm giving it a 12. So we top those scores up. And to be honest, we're getting into the 70s. We're 71. It's a White Snake beer. It's a nice palate cleanser, If you've had too many stouts this Christmas, if you're drinking a lot of those dark beers, if you're going and hitting those double and triple IPAs, if you're hitting those sort of a big alcohol, very strong, especially if you're hitting those West Coast sort of styles and that piney bitterness. There's no piney bitterness with this. It's very fruity. It is a fruit flavoured beer, and it's quite nice. So 71, let's slide it in slow and easy. And until the next video, keep on rocking.